You know it's irrational, and yet you'd still hesitate to walk under that ladder. You'd still knock on wood, still keep a lucky charm you'd never admit to out loud, and you'd do it knowing, fully knowing, it changes nothing. We treat all of this as a flaw, a leftover bit of foolishness in an otherwise clever brain. But here's the strange part. It might not be a flaw at all. It might be the smartest thing your brain does. The one thing you're a little embarrassed to admit. What if this instinct is the very reason your ancestors survived? So, Voro, why do clever people still knock on wood? Tonight, the real science of luck. Be honest. Somewhere in your life, there's a small ritual you'd be uneasy to break. The same route to work, the lucky pen, the athlete who refuses to wash their socks during a winning streak. We do these things knowing, fully knowing, they can't possibly change the outcome. And that's the real puzzle. Not that ignorant people are superstitious, but that informed people are too. To understand why, we have to stop asking if it's true and start asking what it's for. In 1948, a psychologist set out to study reward and accidentally built a machine that makes superstition. His name was B.F. Skinner. His subjects were hungry pigeons in small boxes. The trick was this: the food arrived on a timer, at random, no matter what the bird did. Reward fell from the sky, for nothing. But the pigeons didn't know that. Each one noticed whatever it happened to be doing the moment the food appeared, and decided that must be the cause. So it did it again, and the food came again, by chance, and the belief locked in. Soon the whole flock had invented rituals. One spun in circles, one bobbed its head, one swung it like a pendulum. Each bird was utterly convinced its little dance was bringing the food. Skinner called it superstition in the pigeon. Later researchers argued it wasn't pure superstition. Other instincts were in play, but the core trick was undeniable. Mistake a coincidence for a cause, and a ritual is born. So step back and ask it like an engineer. Why would evolution leave us this easy to fool? Because your brain is, above all, a pattern finder. It is built to spot the link between this and that, the cause behind the effect. A scientist named Michael Shermer gave it a name: patternicity, the tendency to find patterns even in pure noise. Others call it apophenia. Now picture an ancestor on the savannah. The grass rustles. Is it the wind or a predator crouched to spring? Here's the brutal maths of survival. Guess predator and be wrong. You lose a little energy, a moment of fear. That's all. But guess wind and be wrong. Just once, and you are eaten. One mistake, no second chance, no children. So evolution made its choice. Better 1,000 false alarms than one missed tiger. The jumpy ones lived, and we are their children. Your pattern detector is a smoke alarm, tuned to shriek at burnt toast. Because the cost of silence at a real fire is everything. Overdetection isn't the bug, it's the whole design. A brain that never cried, wolf would have died young. But the mind doesn't stop at spotting the pattern. It wants to know who is behind it. Shermer called this second habit agenticity. Our rush to assume an agent, a will, a someone behind random events. It's why a run of bad luck feels personal, like the universe is doing it to you, rather than simply happening. Pattern plus a ghost behind it. That's the recipe. We don't just see the black cat. We feel its intent. A careful note, though, where these specific signs came from. Why 13? Why a cat? Why wood? Strangely, no one really knows. Most origin stories you'll hear are folk tales about folk tales. The instinct is ancient and universal. The costume it wears is local and uncertain. Now, if it's all a trick of the mind, why does a lucky charm so often seem to work? Part of the answer is control. A psychologist named Ellen Langer showed how badly we crave it. People throw dice harder when they want a high number, softer for a low one, as if force could persuade chance. It's nonsense, of course. And before you smile at the gambler, you do it too. We all do. The feeling of control is real, and that feeling is the point. A ritual gives us a handle on the random. And there's more. One set of studies found that letting people keep their lucky charm actually improved how they performed, not by magic, but through confidence. Holding the charm, people set higher goals, tried harder, and gave up later, though honesty demands a caveat. Those performance findings have been hard to reproduce since. Treat the boost gently, not as fact. Now, here's the part that should bother you. You'd expect superstition to fade as knowledge grows. It doesn't. It digs in. Look closely at where rituals cling hardest, and you'll find they gather exactly where our real control runs out. The student who studied hard and still wears the lucky socks. The pilot, master of the machine, with a private routine before every flight. Sailors, surgeons, athletes, gamblers. The more skill they bring, the more they sense exactly how much is still left to chance. That's the contradiction. We don't reach for rituals where we're helpless and ignorant. We reach for them where we've done all we can. And it still isn't enough. So maybe superstition was never really about the cat, or the ladder, or the wood at all. It's the same ancient instinct that kept your ancestors alive. A brain that would rather see a false link than miss a real one. And laid over that, something tender. A way to hold steady when the world offers us no handle at all. The ritual doesn't change the dice. It changes the person throwing them. A little calmer, a little braver, a little less alone with the unknown. It's not the mark of a foolish mind. It's the fingerprint of a mind built to survive a world it could never fully predict. And this matters more than it seems, because the same detector that invents lucky charms also builds our deepest mistakes. The conspiracy in the noise, the face in the shadow, the pattern that isn't there. Knowing the alarm runs hot is how we learn when to trust it. So tonight, when you catch yourself knocking on wood, don't be embarrassed by it. Listen to it instead. That little ritual is a fossil of a survival instinct, a quiet message from every cautious ancestor who lived long enough to pass it on. If this made you see your own rituals a little differently, subscribe and stay curious. Sleep well? You're a little less in the dark now. I'll see you at the next midnight question.